Some people wake up every morning with fresh money in their account, earned while they slept, without answering a single client message or taking a single call. It's not because they have a side hustle. It's because they own a business that runs almost on its own. I'm not talking about stock investing or buying real estate. I'm talking about simple, boring businesses that almost nobody considers a real business until they see how much it actually brings in every month. After reviewing 25 low-maintenance business models, all startable with under $200, and comparing their returns over the past few years, I put together a list anyone can replicate. Some of these are going to sting a little because you've probably had the chance to start one of them already and let it pass. If you only act on one idea from this list, make it the last one. It's the one that generates income with the least effort out of all of them. Let's get into it. Before we start, a quick word in case this is your first time on the channel. I've spent the last few years studying how ordinary people, no inheritance, no connections, no spare capital, build real income. And one thing I've learned along the way is that almost nobody gets rich with a brilliant idea. They get rich with the boring idea nobody else wanted to touch. This list is exactly about that. Each business comes with what it costs to start, what it can generate, and why almost nobody pays attention to it. Stick around, because the pattern you'll notice by the end will change how you look at unglamorous businesses for good. Business 10, dryer vent and duct cleaning. Let's start with something almost every home has and almost nobody thinks about, the dryer vent. A clogged vent is one of the leading causes of house fires in the U.S. But most homeowners only think about it after a fire department flyer lands in their mailbox. A basic vent cleaning kit costs under $150, and a single residential job pays between $75 and $150, depending on the length of the duct run. Why doesn't anyone do it? Because it sounds like handyman work, not a business. But an operator who signs up 10 property management companies for an annual inspection route turns a one-time job into recurring income without ever chasing a new client. The barrier isn't money. It's the embarrassment of doing work that sounds like just cleaning. Business 9, mobile headlight restoration. Every car older than 5 years has cloudy, yellowed headlights that cut visibility at night. Replacing a headlight assembly is expensive. Polishing it costs the shop between $40 and $80 per pair, and a full restoration kit runs under $100. A technician who handles 3 or 4 cars a day, showing up at the customer's driveway or workplace instead of running a shop, out-earns plenty of people working a full-time retail job. This is where the first pattern shows up. One you'll see repeat through this whole list. A business that comes to the customer, instead of waiting for the customer to come to it, cuts its competition in half. Whoever has a storefront competes on location. Whoever shows up in the driveway competes on convenience. And convenience isn't something a competitor can copy overnight. Business 8, garage and attic decluttering. This is the kind of job most people put off for years. The garage full of boxes, the attic nobody opens anymore. A decluttering service, sorting what to sell, what to donate, and what to haul away, charges between $150 and $400 per day, depending on volume. Startup cost is close to zero: gloves, bags, and a rented van or a delivery app. The typical client isn't someone trying to save money. It's someone with money and no time who will pay almost anything to avoid losing a Saturday to someone else's clutter. Here's a detail few people mention. A chunk of what gets decluttered still has resale value at a thrift store or online marketplace. Whoever runs this service walks away from every job with a second batch of product to flip on their own. Business 7, graffiti removal for commercial buildings. Graffiti on a commercial storefront is a problem that repeats itself. The property manager cleans it, and within a few months it's back. That alone is the difference between a one-off job and a recurring contract. Materials, chemical remover, a pressure sprayer, touch-up paint, cost under $150 to get started, and a mid-size commercial job pays between $150 and $500. Whoever signs an entire commercial strip to a monthly maintenance contract, charging a flat fee to respond whenever new graffiti shows up, turns a dirty, unpleasant job into predictable revenue. Same pattern again. The more unpleasant a service sounds, the fewer people want to compete with you for it. Business 6. Industrial tool and blade sharpening. Every wood shop, butcher shop, and machine shop depends on sharp blades to work, and sharpening tools is a skill that's basically disappeared from most cities. The generation that knew how to do it is retiring, and almost nobody is stepping in to replace them. A benchtop sharpening machine costs between $100 and $200, easily fitting the budget. An operator who sets up a fixed weekly or monthly route, picking up and dropping off sharpened tools at each shop, charges per piece and leaves every visit with the next job already lined up. This is a perfect example of a truly forgotten business. It's not that nobody wants to pay for it, it's that almost nobody left knows how to offer it. Business 5. Mobile upholstery and mattress cleaning. Sofas and mattresses collect dust mites, mold, and stains, and very few people go through the hassle of hauling one to a shop for cleaning. A portable extractor costs between $150 and $250, comfortably fitting the starting budget. A mobile job charges between $20 and $50 per piece, and a technician who handles 4 or 5 homes a day easily clears a full-time wage in a single week. Here's another pattern worth repeating. The client isn't really paying for the cleaning. They're paying to avoid the logistics of moving a couch. You're selling the absence of a hassle, not the service itself. Business 4. Post-construction cleaning. After any renovation, you're left with fine drywall dust, paint splatter on glass and floors. The kind of mess a regular cleaner doesn't want to touch and doesn't know how to treat. This niche charges between $150 and $400 per property, depending on size, and the starting materials, scrapers, paint splatter remover, a shop vac, fit comfortably under $200. Recurrence here doesn't come from the same client. It comes from referrals. Every contractor, architect, and general builder needs someone reliable to hand over a spotless finished property. And whoever does this well becomes the go-to name for several construction pros at once without spending $1 on marketing. Business 3. Gutter installation and maintenance. Clogged or poorly installed gutters cause a huge share of home leaks and foundation damage. It's technical enough to scare off the average homeowner, but simple enough that it doesn't require a formal trade license in most areas. Basic tools: a ladder, a rivet gun, sealant, cost under $150. Cleaning and small repair jobs pay between $75 and $200 per home, and becoming the go-to gutter guy for a whole neighborhood, scheduling visits ahead of storm season, turns a seasonal service into a contract that repeats twice a year per customer. Business 2. Flat pack and store-bought furniture assembly. As more furniture gets bought online, demand for someone who can properly assemble a wardrobe, a bookshelf, or a bed frame keeps growing. And most furniture retailers outsource this to independent contractors rather than hiring in-house staff. Tools: a drill, a level, a bit set, cost under $100. An assembler who partners directly with 2 or 3 local furniture stores gets handed referrals automatically and charges per piece assembled. This is one of the few businesses on this list where you don't even need to go find customers yourself. The store does that part for you because delivering an assembled product is in their interest too. Business 1. Recurring maintenance contracts applied to any of the services above. And here we are at number 1, the one I mentioned at the start. The one that changes the outcome more than any of the other 9. And it isn't a specific business. It's a principle that runs through every single one of them. The difference between having a good month and building actual income isn't which of these 9 services you pick. It's whether you turn a one-time job into a contract. Think about it this way. If you clean a dryer vent once, you get paid once. If you sign the property manager to a semi-annual inspection contract, You get paid twice a year from the same client without ever having to sell them again. It's the same logic behind the gutters, the graffiti removal, the tool sharpening. The customer pays, forgets you exist, and your calendar reminds you to show back up on your own. Let me be honest for a second. When I started studying this kind of business, I was also chasing the brilliant idea, the one nobody had thought of yet. And what I eventually understood, after studying the pattern behind people who actually built real income doing this kind of work, is that almost nobody gets rich by inventing something new. They get rich by executing something old, boring, and recurring with more consistency than most people have the patience for. To close, here's what that looks like in practice. Sarah was 29 when she decided she wanted her own schedule. She spent 2 years hunting for the perfect idea. A digital product, a differentiated online store, something nobody else was doing. She burned through her savings on attempts that never took off, because every new idea was competing against 1,000 other new ideas from equally ambitious people. Today, at 33, she's still employed, still searching for the idea. Mike was the same age when he started, but instead of chasing something new, he bought a benchtop sharpener for $150 and started visiting butcher shops and wood shops in his own neighborhood once a week. He didn't invent anything. He signed each stop to an already proven route. While that covered his bills, he started offering the same service to auto shops in the next town over. 2 years later, that route paid more than his old job, so he quit. Today, his money comes in on its own, exactly like we said at the start of this video. The difference between Sarah and Mike was never intelligence, luck, or who had more capital to start. It's that one chased the exciting thing and the other built the boring one. If you made it this far, you already have something most people watching this kind of content never get. The real, numbers-backed list of businesses that generate money without needing to reinvent anything. If this video opened your eyes to a business you'd never considered, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing real income ideas without the fluff. And tell me in the comments which of these 10 surprised you the most, or which one you already knew up close. I read every comment. See you in the next one.